but he's been paralyzed since 1998, so he knows more about the latter subject. You might have fallen down at some point, but after hearing his story, you'll get back up. Mark Richards, DTM.
Megan, where are you? Hi. All I Really Need to Know, I Learned in Kindergarten, is a book by Robert Fulghum. In the book, he elucidates a series of credos that he has developed and narrowed down to very few key words and key symbols that help get across a strong message of how simple life can really be if we just follow some basic tenets. For example, share, play fair, don't hit other people, clean up after your mess, wash your hands before you eat, flush. Real simple things. I'd like to add one more. When you fall down, get up. Why do I tell you these things? Why are these things important? All the best parts of life can be miserable unless if you are beholden to staying down when you're knocked down. And if you don't stop that process, if you can pick yourself up, then your life will turn around and you'll be stronger. My leadership style is based strongly and biased strongly towards an optimism that is unerring. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and most welcome guest, leadership style. To understand my leadership style, I had to go back and think about my life and where I came from and how I got to where I am now. So I'm going to share some of that with you. When I was very young, my parents divorced, and I ended up living with my mother and stepfather for about 9 years. So until I was 14. Then they divorced. I ended up in a home for boys throughout high school. During this time, the whole development time, I was very much a loner. I didn't have a lot of friends, but I learned to fend for myself. I learned to study. It was what I fell back on. I got nearly straight A's in every year of school. When I graduated college, I started work, like most people do, and I ended up in a company called Herbalife. It was a multi-level marketing company. So I was an entrepreneur out of college, which was a lot of fun. Although they didn't have a formal management structure, I did learn a lot of life lessons, and one of them was to have a strong PMA, or positive mental attitude. That bolstered my already strong optimism that just came naturally from being on my own and doing my own thing. When I got into Autoland, which was the last job I held, I was hired to be a manager of a department. I had no management training. They gave me that. It was a lot of trial and error, a lot of errors. One time, I brought my assistant to tears. Sorry, guys. It was really, really bad. She stayed, and it worked out. But it was a tough lesson. Fortunately, we don't have those kind of experiences here in Toastmasters. But then, in 1998, in January, I was diagnosed with having a brain tumor. A short while after that, I overdosed on chemotherapy and became paralyzed. I stopped eating. I was really down. But just like I had when I was young, I decided I didn't want to stay down, and so I had to get up. I had to figure out how to get up. I met up with a gentleman named Taylor, and Taylor taught me about the 10 strongest two-letter words in the English language. If it is to be, it is up to me. And that is the most wonderful thing that I've ever learned, and it is a lesson for all of us. It's how I manage. It's my leadership style. I believe that whenever I am leading somebody, that they can do what it is that they do on their own. They don't need me to handhold. Also, I follow something that I learned in Herbalife called tell, show, try, do. It's a method of teaching how to lead and how to run something by telling somebody how to do it, showing them how to do it, letting them try it, and then they can do it. The whole purpose of this is that although I got up, even though I only got up halfway, the point is I got up instead of staying down. My leadership style is based on this optimism that is so bright, sometimes the future's so bright I gotta wear shades. And whenever I look towards being a leader in Toastmasters, I lean towards this optimistic view. I feel that it's more important to be a leader, be strong, and let others do their own thing in their own time. Mr. Toastmaster.